what's the word? I appreciate you checking out my video, but before we start, I'm gonna need you to do two things. Hit that like and subscribe.
A lot of my people need to wake up from that. They need to wake up from that mentality, and they just start working together with others that's like us. Because there's people that get it and they're getting it. And then you get mad at them when they don't want to be around you and they move to the hills. Man, they never come back and support that because you got a certain type of mindset. And that certain type of mindset ain't going to get you anywhere. You feel me? You right? You feel me, bro?
Yeah, what you talking about? What mindset? Slave mentality? Slave mentality mindset?
Yeah, man. Like, I was just telling them, like, bro, this is 2026. We have the most black millionaires that there ever has been. So that whole I can't do anything mentality, that's for the birds, bro. There's a lot of opportunity out there that you can make something happen. It's just the fact that they already got you with your mind where you think that you can't do anything. Now, there are people that are, you know, the R word that you're going to encounter. And that's going to be from every race. But at the same time, you got people like low key. I got some Jewish homies that be putting me on game and stuff. Okay. But if you had the mentality of, oh man, they all just devils and X, Y, and Z, you're not going to get anywhere.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's really is. It's about the mindset right now, especially with what's going to happen with this country, because a lot of people are not peeping. Economically, there are going to be a bunch of changes, and they're estimating that like they're going to be over like 1 million job losses this year. So a person who has the mindset of like, you know, I'm a clerk or I'm a this, they like, you know, they attach their whatever it is that they are to their job or whatever, however much money you got, you know, you're that's your attachment, or you know what I mean? But the true freedom comes with like being able to create. So if you don't have a job, you still could get out here, not hustle. And I'm talking about like Lyft and DoorDash. I'm talking about like create something out of nothing. And a lot of us, that has been bred out of us because we so dependent on other systems and jobs and this and that. So yeah, man, you do gotta have a boss mentality. You gotta have a God, not a God mentality. I would say God fueled. You just gotta know God got you. You gotta ask God to guide your steps, because if your mindset, just like what you're talking about mindset, bro. You're talking about people who have like a certain mindset, and what they say, what you think, thoughts become things. You know, so a man so a man thinketh, so he be. So you really got, especially now, man, people got to really get their mentality. They got to get their mind right.
Scarcity mindset versus mindset of abundance.
There you go.
Which one do you want?
There you go.
I've seen a lot of people have that I can't, and haven't even tried.
Right.
So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Is like, this is a journey that sometimes I'm starting to understand that sometimes, man, this road might be lonely because you have to go against the grain. If you got to go for what you know, as they say. So a lot of times, if you're being a trendsetter, you're not going to have a lot of people following you until they see the success of what you're doing.
Right.
You know, and sometimes they won't even want to follow. They're just like, hey, I see what you did, but hey, can I borrow this or can I get this? You know, right. They're not even trying to fish with you. They're just trying to take the fish and come back for more whenever you go back out.
Yep.
So, you know,
no, that's what I was saying even earlier when you were talking about, you know, having haters, and they could drag you down too, because a lot of times they'll hang around because they're hating, and they won't show their true intention. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, man, they'll bring you down, they'll bog you down too, and they'll feed you that scarcity mindset. Oh man, well, you know, they the way they start talking, especially you pay attention to how people talk. Oh man, well, this ain't, you know, it's like when you say something, so be it. Asheo, you get what I'm saying? So if someone said, like, I think I had one of my family members said something, and I was just like, man, I'm not, and I've been rocking with him for years. I was just like, man, I'm not rocking with you just because of what you just said. People try to put that, I'll say they curse you. You know what I'm saying? And their mindset, they try to put it on you.
It's honestly the most dangerous thing that somebody can do is put that seed of doubt in my mind.
There you go.
And like you said, I don't know, I'd have to do more research, but how they say, like, words are curses and spells and stuff. It can be to a certain degree, so
to a degree.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want to be around somebody, like, because you do have to be cautious of, okay, how is this going to happen? You have to look at all scenarios, like, all right, this can go wrong, this can go right, this can go wrong. If you have the mindset of this is going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong, then eventually something's going to go wrong.
Right.
So that's why I just been on this journey by myself, basically, and I've been collectively coming around people that had the same mind frame, but I'm trying to build. I see I'm at a certain point in life to where it's like, all right, let me evaluate what I've done right. Okay, let me evaluate what I've done wrong. Okay,
there you go.
I can do this better. I can do this different. This is working for me. Let me continue with that and better what I have going on. And I'm just like resetting everything. So I know I'm not a perfect person, but I'm striving for perfection. So there's always going to be something that you can work towards to be better. And that's why I was asking you the other day, well, like, the pills and vitamins and stuff, because what we put in our body will prepare us. Like, proper preparation prevent piss poor performance.
There you go.
If you prepare yourself properly, there's no way that you're gonna run short. Like, we're gonna have losses, but a lot of times people, the first loss that they have is not even trying.
Yeah.
So I'm just an open book, an open mind. I'm inquisitive, and I know I don't know everything, and I'm trying to get around other people that know stuff that I don't know, to where the stuff that I do know, I can share to them.
There you go. See, that's there's nothing wrong with being honest. That's part of true growth, where you're honest about where you grown or the lack of the lack of growth in certain areas. So. And it's important to have the right people around you that's not going to be yes man, because when you're doing some bullish, they just, yes man. No. They like, I value people who are around me and they pull me to the side, man. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Like I was telling Jag some time back. Hold on. I was saying I had a homie, shout out to the homie Mixmasters, what was his name? Mixmaster Mike, Mixmaster Cash, my boy Mike. I don't know if you know him. He from Gardena. But we went to school together and doing the music stuff, man. And as I was learning, because it took me years to just really get, just because I didn't go to school. I was in like band classes, music class for writing music, playing music, stuff like that. But as far as engineering, I didn't go for that. I had to learn it on my own. And I was doing, just whatever. My boy pulled me to the side and said, hey, man. And how artists are, man. Artists, they could be sensitive as far as like you tell them something, hey, that shit whack. You can't just be like, oh, man, that shit whack. It's a certain way you got to say it. No, for real. Yeah. So my boy pulled me to the side and was just like, yeah, man, you got to get your mixes down, Pat. You a lot of your shit don't got no bass, ain't got this, it ain't got that, it ain't mixed. It basically was just telling me about my EQing, and I was like, you know what, you right, and I didn't take it as like, oh, this nigga hating because I got this. He was right. He was just like, yeah, man, if you listen to other people's stuff and then you play your stuff, the bass, if it's too distorted or if it's too low, like so it may be. And the funny thing is, around that same year, I started meeting other producers who sonically understood and kind of helped me get where I needed to get. And yeah, you got to be around people that's going to really tell you the real, like, what I'm saying? Just like, don't just look for people that's going to coddle your comfortability. Because if you're comfortable, you're not going to grow.
Yep. And lately, I came across somebody that really put it on my mind as far as you have to get uncomfortable to basically get comfortable. So
Yeah.
definitely been in a situation where I'm uncomfortable. So now I'm looking for answers to change. And it's very important not to have, like you said, yes man around you, because shit, we don't know everything. We don't know everything. So we might be wrong on a couple of things. And it's really not what you say, it's how you say it. Hey bro, you slipping on this, you need to tighten up on X, Y, and Z, so
Yep.
it really is the delivery, because the same way how you have to be willing to accept constructive criticism, but then at the same time the person have to deliver the message properly also,
Right.
because
Right.
the same way how the guy was coming across, it could have been like you could have took it as hate because of the way how he presented it. Oh man, this shit sounds terrible or whatever it is.
Right.
But the way how he presented it to you is like, all right, yeah, for sure. This came from a place of love, a place of trying to enlighten. So yeah, there's no way to take it the wrong way. So yeah, man, like you're really right about that situation.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I see a couple of comments over here that I'm kind of behind on. So let me see if we can talk about something like that. Okay, Brian said I do everything but quantum physics. All right, what you talking about, bro? Barbara J from D Love. I cross the water except I don't do planes. Wait, all right, I'm kind of lost. Yet they still got.
Are they talking about visiting each other? What are they talking
about? I don't know on that. D Love's talking about the mentality. Seriously, who knows what to do with 40 acres and a mule? I'm telling you, everybody.
Huh? I said I know what to do with it. I said I know what to do with it.
It ain't gonna be like that Dave Chappelle skit for everybody. They ain't gonna be pulling up on 30s and all that other stuff. You're gonna have some people that know what to do with it, and I think that's why they're scared of that, bro. For sure.
Yeah.
Barbara J said, "Welcome back, Odell." Brian said, "Just a thought." D Love always have a trade or two. Yeah, that's talking about the skills and how people gonna.
Yeah.
What made you say that a lot of people gonna lose their job to what, AI or what?
It ain't even It ain't about AI. It's really about certain people that got money. I'm gonna give you an example. Vlad. I don't like to talk about that possible agent motherfucker, right? He hired like 6 people just to do his captions for his videos years back. He had them working 30, 40, 50 a K a year or something. Chat GTP came about. He fired 5 and kept 1. And they just used Chat GTP to do all his captions and descriptions and stuff like that. So it's people with money that are gonna lay off a bunch of people. It ain't just the just the AI. That's what I'm saying. I just went and did a job at someone's house. He works for the city or the county, and he's using Chat GTP. He's probably got a few people underneath him, but then he's doing majority of the, it's a process. He's doing the process and stuff with Chat GTP, and you could imagine when it comes down, because what's going to happen is Trump's going to be cutting a lot of the funding for a lot of these governments, jobs, stuff like that. So a lot of these people underneath his job, he'll probably be fine. But he got 8 or 9 people underneath him. He'll probably cut 3 or 4 because they're going to shrink the government. And then, just like I said, private individual that got money, they're not in the business of really. You're supposed to employ people. That's what you're supposed to do for the most part, to try to contribute to society. But the way this economy is going now, it's not about to be like that where it was years ago, man. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not throwing fear. I'm not pumping fear. I'm just talking reality. Like on my other channel, which I got to get back going, I was encouraging people, if you in LA, you can always get you a garden, get you a spot that got a backyard where you could grow food. And not to be even on some scarcity shit there, but it was kind of like, shit, if I got a mango tree over here and an avocado tree and the homie got oranges down the street, And you know, the whole everybody on the block is like trading up, like, oh yeah, let me get some of the mangoes, let me get some of them. I mean, you saving money, number one,
Right.
but then it's also a community thing where you could be like, you know, y'all could be teaching about horticulture, y'all could be teaching each other about like, you know, non-pesticides, because we were talking about that over the phone. You know, I was telling you about the pesticides and stuff. Yeah, man, like, you know, things are gonna just be different, and we got to be more communal, and we got to start looking out for each other. But you know, a lot of assholes don't look out for, I ain't looking out for no assholes, no punks. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but real good people will find each other, and we're gonna look out for each other. But yeah, the economics is about to change, and yeah, they are forecasting that's about to be 1 million jobs like gutted, removed.
That's crazy. And I definitely agree with you, because that definitely will bring the community together. Do you think that's like how the atmosphere was going on, like in what the 20s and the 30s when we had Black Wall Street popping?
Oh yeah, yeah. The problem with Black Wall Street though, they didn't have a military. Like
Hey,
they had
I didn't think
everything but a
that's real
military.
talk, though. Yeah, because the Black Panthers, they came around what the 50s or the 60s or so.
Yeah,
Okay,
60s.
yeah. If we had
No
some
one
type
look.
of, huh?
No. I was just saying, Tulsa, Oklahoma, you know, they had everything. They were self-sufficient. And yeah, the U.S. government didn't like that. They bombed them. That's why Gap Band, you know, Charlie Wilson got that song, "You Dropped the Bomb on Me." He talking about the Tulsa, Oklahoma. That was the first time the U.S. bombed its own citizens. So they had everything but a military.
Hey, that's a gem that you dropped on me. I know the song, but I didn't know the story behind that.
Yeah, I didn't figure it out till years later. I love that joint. That song is so funky. It's like that song is fire, right? And then you like, wait, what? You listen to the lyrics? You dropped a bomb on me, baby. They talking about the United States government dropping a bomb on Tulsa.
That's crazy. Hey, y'all do y'all research, man. Hey, for real, that's a gem right there. I had no idea.
Yeah,
that's wild.
But no, they were getting it together in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But yeah, that was the only thing. They were so jealous of that side of town having all the just having it popping, and it was all about I won't say recycling dollars. It was about, what's the word I'm looking for? Claude Anderson talks about it, just how our money in 6 hours leaves our community in 6 hours, where other people, you know, their money stays within their community 24 hours, 48 hours a month. But yeah, that's just, yeah, our they got us by design for our, just we got, because we don't produce nothing, so we got to give our money to somebody else.
And that's crazy, because recently they had this the Target boycott with Jamal Bryant.
Yeah.
And you know, on one end he was flexing, saying like, you know, we got a spending power of $1 billion or $2 billion. But then on the other side, it's like, all right, if we got that much spending power, why are we not using it for the right resources or anything?
Right. I say the first thing to do is don't buy nothing. Like we really could show, and we really need to be on the movement. Like especially the way the economy is now. You ain't got to be like lack mindset or greedy or stingy. Like, don't buy nothing. Like that'll show a lot of these, like, for real. Because look, I think you were talking about investments the other day.
Yeah. And
most people, if they invest in something, they usually consume it. Like Coca-Cola. I know there was a community, I forget which community, but they invested in Coca-Cola and they made sure it was promoted. They made sure they drank it. They supported Coca-Cola. If you're not really, if we're not in this business of, like, we don't support this organization, or if this, it's like, if it's not a mutual benefit for the Black community or hip hop community, don't support them. Don't buy nothing. I guarantee if we start that, like how they had it with the bus boycott, you know, the buses were not being used for a year. People were walking. They didn't care for a year. That bus company was like, you know what? This is some bullshit. And they don't talk about that. They talk about Rosa Parks and they talk about Martin Luther King and all that or whatever, but they don't talk about the economic effect that really happened when they just said, you know what, we ain't buying up, we ain't supporting this bus. company, and it was a year. People were walking, people, you know, were carpooling. They didn't support that bus company for a year.
Yeah, you definitely make them start changing their mind and thinking when you start affecting their pockets, and that's the first.
Exactly.
That's one thing them other people know to do. Yeah, go ahead, punch me, do whatever it is, because I'll sue you. And once they sue you, it's over for you. So you got to know to cripple somebody, get to them financially, and that will make a whole world of a difference. So you ain't lying on that, bro, at all.
Yeah. Now we got to change our mindset on attention. Like, if you are a man, number one, don't waste your time, attention, energy on something that ain't really, you know, like, it's not for you. That's like going out with a chick and she just being disrespectful, being on the phone, and just all kind of like, why would you spend money or even time or energy or entertaining that? You know what I'm saying? So as a community, we got to be like that. We got to be like, I'm not going to give energy to them or money to them. And we really got to get on that, though, for real.
But honestly, that will bring shame back, and a lot of people don't want to be shamed for what they're doing. It's like within our community, it's basically like a free for all. And if you say anything about it, then we're gonna go. It's a numbers game. We're gonna gang up on you because you're speaking out against what a lot of us do, and that's making us feel uncomfortable. But that's what needs to happen, though.
Yeah, you got to bring back shame. We do. We got to bring back shame, and we got to change the game. How about that?
Hey, that's real talk, man. Let me see about some of these other comments. I think we left off. We'll always have a trade or two. D-Love said, Brian, I do, and I'm going to do it, grow food. Yeah, we do. Like you said, we need to start growing our own. Brian said, D-Love, that's always a ship cruising. WB. All right. I'll get in a boat, but not a plane. And I'm talking about to leave the States. I'm in for the permanent. Man, yeah, I don't know about leaving the States, though. Well, there you go. Yep, classic music 100. They are. D-Love said, and pay attention to the advice you're giving and who is coming from. Some people don't want you to have anything. Yeah. And that's why I was saying earlier, like sometimes people will be giving you advice only from the knowledge of what they have. So they could be doing it with love, but it could be some ignorant stuff to where it be leading you in the wrong direction. So you definitely have to watch who you're getting the advice from. Basically look at the book that they
Women do that all the time. You got women that take advice, married women taking advice from single women. That's the worst thing you could do. She ain't got no man. You got to make that man do bop, 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 bop. And next thing she ain't got no man. And men ain't coming like buses like how they used to these women. You know what I'm saying? Like every 5 minutes it's a new bus. Nah. Yeah, you're right. You got to take advantage of, you got to be mindful of, where you getting the information from, for real.
Yeah, that's real talk. What you don't know is an opportunity to get to know. Yeah, that's real talk. I should start writing fortune cookies. This fool is stupid. What you don't know is an opportunity to learn and grow. Very true. She said, I said that because Barbara J said she crossed the ocean. So I said I would, but I don't go planes. Okay, for sure. Yeah, Barbara J was telling us how she left from where she is at to where she's at now, just to get a peace of mind, away from family and everything.
Barbara J is in Canada. Where is she originally from?
Yeah, that's a good question. Hey, Barbara J, where is you originally from? Class of like 20.
We ain't trying to dox you either.
Wait, classic so ahead of us. We're behind in the comments. You are stupid, Brian. You're stupid. This dude, my bad. I'll be better on the comments, man. That's what I'm trying to do. Said in Westboro food. Yeah, Brian. I see so many fruit trees loaded down with fruit with just go to waste. Yeah, that's real talk.
Hey, you from LA?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If anything, you'll see the Hispanic people coming by. They'll be walking by, picking stuff off of people fruit that they don't even know, but they'll be using it though. So, you know,
you from LA? Do you remember? You know about loquats, right?
Yeah. Hey, those were there's like the little red ones, right?
No. They're like they're orange and they have them big brown seeds in the middle. Like they have multiple and they're real sweet.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, like I guess orange, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, red. Well, no, I wouldn't say red. I would say they wouldn't turn red. They're like orange basically. But long story short, they started cutting down a lot of them in LA because we used to just walk down the street, you get them and eat them. Of course, you didn't want to get them straight off the tree because you rinse them, you clean them basically. But they were just there because there used to be a lot of groves out here. That plant or that fruit, that tree, the seeds basically that it carries a lot of selenium, and selenium is a cancer fighting mineral, and they systematically got rid of them shits. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like when you really start paying attention, even like certain fruits and certain stuff, they selenium is you'll find a lot of selenium in what do they call them? Brazilian nuts, I think. Oh shit, my phone dying. But yeah. They systematically got rid of them trees. You only can find so many of them trees. Like you don't find them as plentiful like you used to.
Yeah, and they taste good too. And they had like a big ass seed in the middle though too. But like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I believe what you're saying with them systematically getting them out of there too. Especially if they have good benefits and stuff.
Yep. Let me tap out for a second. My battery dying. Let me plug up. I'll if you back on in a minute, I'll be here.
All right, for sure. Yeah. I'll probably be here for like, the 2 hour mark. So if you pull back up, I will be here, Brody.
Hey man, so you gonna tell me 94.6 of y'all are not subscribed?
What are y'all doing? Hit that subscribe button and put notifications on all.
Now let's get to the video.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Are you a fan of my brand and want to show your support? Well, I got some awesome merch for you to check out today. I got everything from stylish t-shirts featuring my logo to cozy hoodies that are perfect for those chilly nights. And don't forget about the signature hats and mugs. Whether you heading out to a concert, running errands, or just hanging out with friends, my merch is the perfect way to show your love for the brand. And the best part, I got some exclusive deals and discounts going on right now. So what you waiting for? Head over to the store, grab your favorite item before they gone. Yo, you now rocking with classic music. Now what I want you to do is hit that like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Yeah, let's get it.